This one is the first lime tree that I got, and I was worried that I wasn't going to get anything out of it, but it is absolutely covered in new growth. And look, now I've got blossoms coming on it, and I saw some more blossoms here somewhere. But you know, wherever you see blossoms, there's some coming here, some here, some here. That means you're going to be getting limes where the blossoms are. So I'm really, really happy with this tree. The other ones all had blossoms on them when I got it, and I've got new blossoms on the lemon tree. Another lemon on the lemon tree. One here. And so I think there's only those couple of lemon trees on, but I'm getting new blossoms on it, which is awesome. I just moved it away from this wall over here. It was too hot on the south wall. And and that one was right against the wall, so I moved it over. This one here is just, I showed this the other day, it's just covered in limes. You can see them everywhere. Every branch is just covered in them all the way along. This one all the way along. I didn't know they grew like this. That's the biggest one. And of course key limes, no, this one's not the key lime, but limes don't get that big to begin with. This one here is the key lime, and you can see new leaves, new growth. This is all new on the end of it, and of course blossoms and limes already showing. Huge growth at the end of every branch. So really excited about that. Now this one here is the Meyer lemon, and I only had that one, and now I've got like 4 more right here, and there'll be more right there. But again, new growth, brand new growth, which means that, you know, they're doing really well in this environment. New blossoms down there, new blossoms here. So this one here is the one that she told me it might drop all of its fruit if I transplanted it. But the pot it was in was only about half the depth of this, and it was really dry. So I just filled it half full of dirt and then very gently put the plant in this pot so it has twice as much depth of soil. And it seems to have worked really well because it's just doing so awesome. Now the strawberries all died. I planted these herbs in here because they were drying out so much. These are all peppers that are coming up. I have no idea what this is because I didn't plant onions in there. The hascaps are going absolutely bonkers. Everywhere that I pruned them, I have tons of new growth. And it's hard to even see what's in there now because there's so much growth, and the same with this pot here. So really happy with those. Got a couple of tomato plants that came up, and I just sprinkled a bunch of heritage seeds in here and in this pot because nothing came up in here. And then I have more peppers in here. So I planted the long sweet peppers, and I planted bell peppers. So I don't know which ones are which, but the peppers have done really well. So, and I just used these square pots here that nothing came up in to plant a bunch of lettuce again. And I even labeled them, look at that. And these are the strawberries, they're spinach strawberries that I planted in the milk jugs. Just annoying having to water them and everything, so I only got 4 little plants. Waste of time again as far as I'm concerned, but I put those in there and we'll see what happens with those. Just so you know, this is the root starter. It's also sold at Lee Valley, so I'll be using that. Now I should mention, I was measuring, you can see how many blossoms there are coming off of here. Of course I don't want to cut those spots. I want to find a nice spot where it's got a straight run here of just bark that will fit the cup. And I went just back inside. It is 5/8 of an inch diameter, not circumference. The circumference of this is like 1.5 inches. So you have to know the difference. I had to go and check. So I measured, it's 5/8 of an inch across, and I don't know what the diameter is, but circumference. It's the diameter that is 5/8 of an inch. So I measured this one. This is perfect branch, so I'm going to start with that one. So this is what the little cup looks. It's hinged, it snaps together there, and it opens up like this. So basically I'm gonna scar the branch, and then I'm gonna clamp the little pot together on it like that. So again, you need enough room to be able to do that. So you can see how if this takes root, what's left on this branch is going to make a really nice tree. And of course you'll end up with shoots coming out of there to make a new branch too. And I might end up taking this one here. It says also to take some that are the most upright. So this branch and this branch over here I think are the most upright. This one is here too, and it's kind of impeded by the big branch on the tree, so I might try doing that one. A little awkward without trying to do any damage to these other branches. And this knife is fairly sharp. I'm a dangerous person with sharp knives. Dangerous to myself. So you can see I've got the bark taken off all the way around there, and that's what I need. I'll put the root starter on and then go get peat in the little cup to put around here. So I've got my little pot full of nice moist peat moss. I put a little bit of plant fertilizer in there. So now I've just got to clamp it on to this branch. I can do it without, oh, the pot seems too small, but maybe I'll be able to squeeze it in there. There we go. Perfect. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to stuff a little bit more in the top. I got it nice and wet because this stuff is almost impossible to work with. It's sort of like dust. So I'm going to pack it in there. You can see where the water's going in the bottom, and it wicks the water up. So I'm going to pack it in there. It says these things never fail on their website. I hope they're right. Yeah, now I'm into the dry stuff and it's like hard to work with. I'll pack as much as I can in there, and then there's tape that you put around here because you have to keep the sun off the roots while they get started. I'm sure excited about trying this out. I've been wanting to try this out. I bought these when I was living in Ontario years ago, so I've been wanting to try this forever. Carting these things all over the country back and forth, and finally gonna get a chance to try it. I'm gonna get as much as I can in there. Just going to clean the outside of the pot off because the tape has to be able to stick to this little pot to keep the sun from shining on the roots. Now, I have to put this little lid on. Oh dear, I might have picked a bad spot because of the other branch coming out of there. I gotta get underneath that. Oh dear. Now I just realized something. These little tabs have to line up with these little slots. And they're only in certain spots, so there's only one way that it can fit on. So basically the gap here lines up with the gap there in the little pot. The other thing, like I said, these are so brittle. The little plastic that was supposed to hold this down, like this one, snapped off right away. The plastic is so brittle because it's old, so that's something to consider. I guess you can't keep them for years and not use them. Now this tape is also peeling apart because it is so old. So I'm just going to do the best I can the tape is all around that, and I think if you look at how tall this part of the tree is already and how healthy it is and how many blossoms there are, I think it's going to make a really good new tree. And I think I may end up doing this branch next. I think it's just about the right size. I may end up having to prune this one off because it's rubbing against this big branch. But if I can get 2 more of these cherry trees, and those branches are the most upright as well, other than the main trunk, so I think they're going to make awesome trees, and then we'll just get new growth out of the branches where these come off anyway. But I think I'm just going to get that one done for today. I think it's supper time. I was going to mow the grass out here today, and obviously that didn't get done. Look how long it is all around the trees, and it seems like I just trimmed them a couple days ago. The rhubarb, the biggest one, is looking really good, so I've got to get the grass cut around them because that's what choked them all last year. This one's doing good too, and then this one over here. So I'm probably won't harvest anything till really late in the year. I did try getting some off it because it does promote the growth. This gooseberry that looked like it was dead is not, and this one of course is the best, and then there's that little guy over there. So everything's looking really good. We did check out in the zucchini garlic patch, and there is some garlic coming up too. I still think there's another rhubarb in here somewhere. I planted 5 of them, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, little tiny one here. But you can't have too much rhubarb now, can you? The nice thing about taking this branch here as well is that I've got that nice space right there where I can fit one of those little pails on. So that's going to be absolutely perfect. And then of course you just water it through the lid here, keep it nicely watered, and hopefully I'll have 2 more cherry trees.